The Mk8 EGA Evo can display various fuel metrics, including mass flow rate, volume flow rate, energy flow, useful heat, combustion efficiency, and fuel cost per hour. Now, the EGA can either obtain this data from a Mk8 or a mini Mk8 or a 4 to 20 milliamp mass flow meter can be wired directly into the EGA via terminals 17 and 18 on the data flying lead. Now, all this valuable fuel data can be viewed on the EGA even if no other Autoflame equipment is present on site. Now, this data, along with all of your emissions data, is stored on the EGA for 3 years and can be exported into an Excel spreadsheet for external data logging and emissions reporting. All we will require is a mass flow meter that's capable of outputting a 4 to 20 milliamp signal. Now, you can use the existing mass flow meter that you've got on site, but just make sure it's calibrated and provides an accurate reading. For this application, we're using the Fox Thermal FT2A mass flow meter, but your local tech centre can provide the best flow meter for you. Once installed, the tech centre will scale the 4 milliamp and 20 milliamp outputs with the mass flow rate of your fuel at low and high fire, and then implement the same scale on your EGA. Gas flow characteristics must be considered when installing a flow meter, as irregular or turbulent flow can affect the accuracy of the readings. Now, typically a flow meter will require a certain distance of pipe before and after the meter itself to ensure a laminar flow profile. Of course, always check with the manufacturer's guidelines. Now that your flow meter has been wired directly into the EGA, there's just a couple of settings we have to configure on the EGA itself. If you navigate to your EGA settings menu, you set your display units, your costing units, and your combustion efficiency calculation type. Now you can proceed to your fuel setup screen. Now in here, you choose your fuel type, your costing units, your cost per unit of fuel, your fuel flow source, and your fuel flow meter units. Now finally, all you need to do is set up your scaling. So your flow at 4 milliamp and your flow at 20 milliamp. Now we can see our real-time fuel flow data on the home page of the EGA. Simply tap on your fuel line to access your fuel flow screen. The EGA is designed to help businesses measure and report their environmental impacts, including greenhouse gas emissions. Understanding and reporting these emissions can help identify ways to improving environmental performance and cutting costs. The EGA is capable of continuously measuring your O2, CO, CO2, SO2, plus your NO and NO2, which makes up your NOx emissions. Now, this data is calculated together with your exhaust gas temperature and your ambient air temperature to produce a real-time audit of your greenhouse gas emissions. Now, this valuable data, in combination with the amount of fuel being burnt, we're now presented with a complete picture of how efficiently that burner has been commissioned. For example, in the UK, we must now conform to the MCPD, or the Medium Combustion Plant Directive, which stipulates predominantly SO2 and NOx concentration limits. Now, this UK-wide implementation of these restrictions will provide an estimated 24% of the SO2 and 9% of the NOx emissions reductions needed to meet the UK's 2030 requirements. This is one example of why it's imperative to not only measure your fuel usage, but to determine how efficiently that fuel is being burnt. With those metrics, we can then implement steps to ensure local air quality requirements and emission standards are adhered to, while also reducing your fuel usage.